Centbee Show. I'm your host, Lorien Gamaroff, and my co-host today is Ntshingila. How are you doing, Cage?
Good on yourself, Mr. G.
Very good, very good. It's nice to be back and doing another episode of the Centbee Show.
Yeah, this is our third drop. Excited to actually deep dive into one of our most important features today. How are you feeling today, man?
Good. I'm glad that we can carry on talking about what's available in Centbee. You know, we still have a lot of questions and a lot of great features that people don't really know about right now. Yeah. And the people who do know about those features really love them. So I think one of the things that we have is the challenge of getting that information out there. Yeah. So we've got a few followers on Twitter and Instagram and so on, but we need to put a bit more useful content out there instead of just our ads. Yeah. And that's the purpose of these shows. So I'm very glad that we can talk about remittance today, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't mention that. So you revealed actually our focus for today, which is cross-border remittance. Like I said, I'm excited about deep diving into this feature because it's one of our most important features. So, Mr. G, I'm just gonna want you to just give us an intro into that feature.
Yeah, so Centbee is a wallet, as everyone knows, but it's not just for keeping your money. Yeah. It's also for being able to spend your money. And one of the things that you need to do with cash, of course, is you need to be able to go and spend it at places that you want to shop at. Yeah. So we put that shop feature in, which if we haven't spoken about yet, I'm sure we'll have a show dedicated to shopping. Yeah. But then also, if you've got money in your wallet, you also want to be able to send it. Mm-hmm. And of course, using BSV blockchain, it makes it very easy if other people have BSV blockchain wallets, like Handcash or Rock Wallet or Centbee, then that's really the kind of magical ingredient about BSV blockchain is that it's such a low cost network. Yeah. So people send BSV around all the time, and that's really great. That really exploits the benefit of digital cash on BSV blockchain. Okay. But one of the other things is that people want to then be able to turn it into fiat money or local money that they can pay their school fees with, or if there's a store that isn't supported in their neighborhood that they want to shop at, they want to get cash, either in their bank or physical cash. Yes, yeah. So one of the very important things that we wanted to do with Centbee is for people to be able to get physical cash or money in their bank account from their Centbee wallet. Because if you've got cash in your wallet and it's locked there, that gives people less reason to want to put it there in the first place. If they think they're going to be locking up money for just to be able to spend on those few things that they can buy. Yeah. So this is something that we started off with in South Africa, where we originally called it the withdrawals. But it's not actually withdrawing money. You've already withdrawn money in a way when you've put money into your wallet, right? Yeah. If you go to an ATM and you pull cash out, you're withdrawing it out, putting it in your wallet. Yeah. But the thing is now Centbee is a wallet. So the money is already in your wallet. You're not going to withdraw money out of your wallet. Yeah. Either you're going to take it out, put it into cash, or send it, or buy something. Yeah. So we then decided, okay, it's more of a money send feature. But now, we also have the ability to connect with international banks, and so that people can go anywhere in the world. We've got many countries that are supported. They can go and send money to their bank accounts or mobile money accounts. So this is now something that Centbee has built into the wallet. Okay. And interestingly, it comes from the other business that is under the Centbee Holdings brand, which is Minit Money. Yeah. That's, I know, something you're working a lot on as well. Yeah. Now, that company is specifically just sending money cross-border. We use blockchain in the background, but from the user perspective, they just go and hand cash over the counter at a supermarket, and then money arrives in a bank account. Yeah. So that businesses have been operating, Minit Money, and luckily we had all that sort of infrastructure laid out. Yeah. So we thought, great, let's go and incorporate that into Centbee Wallet, and now we have that ability for people to send their BSV cash, digital cash, directly to bank accounts at many countries around the world.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yo, like I can already tell that it being like one of our most prominent features, like it's already like growing in terms of traction. I see a lot of users are starting to use it. So can you kindly like just tap into how the feature works?
Yes, so what you've got to do is you have to have BSV inside your Centbee wallet.
Okay.
Now, we have some places available, ways available that you can go and top up your wallet with BSV. We've got some credit card options, and in other countries, bank account options or supermarket options.
Yeah.
So or you can go and get BSV off an exchange. And then once you've deposited the BSV inside your Centbee wallet, then what you would do is you would create a recipient.
Yeah.
So you would go to the send screen. At the bottom right, there's a little fab button, a plus button, and you open that up, and you'll have a number of options available to you. So starting at the top, it will say bank account, mobile money, cash collection, and then the last few are more not sending physical cash into those accounts, but I think just sending normal BSV. So it'll be pay mail, mobile number, and so on. There's a few things there. So if you want to send money into your bank account or into the bank account of a relative, so if you're, let's say, a Nigerian living in America and you send money home every month, what you can now do is in America, you can top up your wallet with BSV. You can then go and add your mother's bank account. Okay. So you go send, add, bank account. You enter in your mom's bank details. Yeah. So depending on the kind of bank or mobile money account, it'll ask for different things. Yeah. If it's a bank account, it would typically ask for an account number, maybe a bank name. If it's a mobile money, they'll ask for your telco, perhaps, so then, or a cash collection, it would just probably be a name and a mobile number. Then once you've created the beneficiary, you can then go and tap on that beneficiary in your contact list, and you will see an option there to send the money. You'll have an input screen that says, how much do you want to send? We then do these exchange rate calculations and give you an amount that's going to be paid out in the local currency. You hit send, and then boom, the money sent.
That's quite easy. That's cool. Eh? Yeah, awesome. So I just also want to just tap more into the specific countries that like people can send money into.
Yeah, so we're in a lot of countries. We're in a whole lot of African countries, but also Europe, South America. Yeah. So the countries in Africa that people can send money to, and that would be mobile money or bank account or cash collections. That would be where they can go pick it up at an ATM. Yeah. So the ones I can remember.
I'll help you.
Go for it. Give me.
So there's Kenya.
Yes.
There's Uganda. There's Benin. There's Senegal. There's Nigeria. There's what am I forgetting?
South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you're going to like expand it globally, furthermore, there's Canada.
Not yet. Canada. So the ones that are coming are Canada, United States, and New Zealand.
So I'm too excited.
But that's coming soon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But a whole lot more countries. Just download the Centbee app and check out.
Yes. Well, let's think about some of them in Europe. It would be all the SEPA.
The SEPA actually.
Bank accounts. I forget those countries that.
Luxembourg.
Okay, so there's a number of SEPA bank.
Germany.
Yes.
Literally.
France. I'm sure there's plenty of them.
Plenty, Mr. G. Yeah. So that's why I'm actually recommending our users to download the Centbee app and check it out.
Yes. Yeah. Also the UK. You can send money to the UK bank accounts. Yeah. Brazil is cool because it uses Pix.
Pix.
And that's a very fast digital cash payment method that's very popular in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm not sure if we've left any out, but I know what we said is coming. So soon, probably within the next month or so. Okay. So it's now October, November, certainly before December. Yeah. We will have Canada, United States, and New Zealand. Those are our three that are coming. Oh, and then also, interestingly, another African country, probably towards the beginning of next year, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Egypt.
What?
Yeah, so Egypt's also coming up as well. So you'll be able to, if you're anywhere in the world and you want to send money to Egypt, maybe it's a family member or something,
that's cool.
Send money home using Centbee Wallet.
I see that we slightly trying to cover like the whole footprint of Africa. That's pretty awesome because in Europe, like we have like quite an extensive, larger footprint there.
Yeah, especially when it comes to top-ups. Now, we mentioned putting money into your Centbee wallet, and we're certainly working on finding ways of getting people to top up their Centbee wallet easily. It's very hard because there's not many exchanges that support BSV, and then also, of course, you have to find the right partners who can support that. And one of the most important things is licensing. And this is interesting. This is something I can leak as well. Centbee is probably going to be one of the few licensed Bitcoin companies out there soon. We're going to have a license that's going to be awarded to us. It's in the process.
Yeah, now we're going to be part of the big boys club.
Yes. And once we've got that license, then it's easy then to go get those partners, because when you go to a partner and say, we want to use your service, they say, are you licensed? And we've always said, well, look, we're unregulated because there's no regulatory frameworks yet that have been established, and licensing regimes. But that's changing, of course, which we're very excited about.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mr. G. So, cool, like we've mentioned all these countries, but I'm sure like people would like to know if there's any limits in terms of how much they can send.
Yes, now this is very important because, we're trying to be regulated and we're trying to be licensed. And when it comes to money transfers, especially cross-border money transfers, there's very clear rules around how much money people can send through these remittance networks. And so we've decided to start off small, because being officially unregulated, although soon to be licensed, and that whole thing working out, we still want to stay under some kinds of limits that make the regulators who are looking at us feel a bit more comfortable about what we're doing. They always want to make sure that we're not facilitating money laundering or terrorist financing or something like that.
Just illicit financing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that you as a company can demonstrate that you are trying to mitigate those issues is by having very low limits, relatively speaking. So Centbee at the moment does have fairly low limits. I think it's in the order of about maybe $2,000, $3,000, up to $5,000 a month that you can send. But, that is a nice number, because the vast majority of people in the world who send money home are always sending those low values, a couple $100 here, $1,000 there. So, and that would be on a monthly basis. Maybe there's an expat working in a country and they send part of their salary home. Yeah. So we have decided just for now to be responsible and to put in some fixed limits that are fairly low in the order of that. But of course, if you want to raise those limits, and we've seen that you've had a history with us, then we can request more information from you and we can raise those limits. So if you want to raise your limits, if you use Centbee right now, send an email to admin@centbee.com. and just say you would like to raise your limit, mention your Paymail account, which is your name at centbee.com, and then, or in fact, not admin, sorry, should I say it's support@centbee.com.
Support, yeah.
So send an email to support@centbee.com and say you want to raise your limits, and we can work through that with you.
Cool, thanks for that, Mr. G. But it being a feature of like sending money, especially like as you mentioned, like micro transactions, so those are transactions that go at a rapid speed and, frequency. So what is the security behind that in terms of Centbee Wallet?
Yeah, no, that's the power of blockchain. And so what we do when it comes to the Bitcoin payment, the Bitcoin SV payment, then we just broadcast those transactions to the Bitcoin network, and the miners worry about that. But then, of course, that's remembering that Centbee isn't a custodial wallet, meaning that you have to worry about your own keys and your coins. So very importantly, you have to back up your wallet. And if you keep your phrase safe and you keep your 4-digit PIN safe, anytime you lose your phone or something, you can get your coins back by using that phrase. So, we use BSV for security payment rail, and we have non-custodial wallets for your own comfort.
That's cool. That's really cool. Now that we've spoken about the speed, so I'd like to tap into the fees. Like, how much does it cost, like, to actually transact?
Yeah, now, when it comes to BSV, of course, if you send BSV to your relative in another country, the fees are extremely low, in the order of a tenth of a US cent, even less.
What? That's cool.
So sending BSV is always going to be way cheaper. But when it comes to sending the BSV and directly into a bank account or mobile money account or a cash collection, that's where we now have to do a conversion from BSV into the local currency. And so we have then costs around that, because we have to use exchanges and third-party services so that they can facilitate the conversions and the deposits and all that stuff. So if you were to send BSV, it would be low cost, and Centbee wouldn't charge much at all. In fact, it goes to the net money network. But if you are going to be converting it, then think of it as when you go on an exchange and you do a trade, there's always going to be a cost that's involved there, like a percentage or something like that. Now, Centbee, we have decided to, at this stage, we're still testing this and trying to see what works. Obviously, we want to make sure it's as cheap as possible. Because we want to not compete with Bitcoin wallets, but we want to compete with traditional money transmitting companies that we want to engage. We want to take out, Western Union and so on. So we've got to try and outcompete them on those fees. But we don't have the luxury of saying it's just a BS fee, because we have to now pay those third-party services. So what we've decided to do is set it at a fixed amount, which is about, what would it be in dollar terms? It's about 50 Rand. So that's about $2. So $2 a fixed fee, no matter what you send. And what we're going to do is, and that's pretty competitive, we think. And you can go compare it with other services, $2, $2.50 to send any amount.
That's crazy.
Up to your limits. So that's they're going to be the cost, and we're going to see how that works out. And of course, as we get more information and we see how users are using the service, and we'll see how we can now work out those exchange rates. So that's why when you see the cost, the fee there, don't be shocked and think, why is the Bitcoin payment only is costing me $2.50? Think of it an exchange fee to actually do the cross-border transfer and exchange and deposit into your account.
Which is like the normal system.
And fair enough. As I said, we as competitive as any other fintech, really.
Yeah, but they're quite expensive. Like if you're looking at the current existing systems,
especially the large ones.
Yeah,
like MoneyGram
and I think it's more of them exploiting the fact that there's no better options out there. So we're here now. Cool, Mr. G. I would like also to find out, like, how long does the process take? I mean, I'm sending money from South Africa to Nigeria. That could probably take a couple of days.
No, not with Centbee. One of the cool things, and this is what, the company I mentioned earlier, Minit Money, Centbee's other money transmitting company. The reason why it was called Minit Money is because what we are able to do is deposit money within a few minutes. So Centbee uses that, and that means if you make a transaction in your Centbee wallet, generally speaking, depending on some banks have exceptional circumstances, but not a lot. Usually, money will land within a few minutes, and so that speaks to the minute side of things. So generally, you can expect that, especially I think if you're using the African countries, Ghana and Nigeria and Kenya. I think for some European banks it might be a little bit longer, especially if you put in the wrong information. I think if you leave out the IBAN or something. In fact, that's what you need for the SEPA accounts, the IBAN number.
Actually, we didn't mention that. And that's quite important.
Yes, for European bank accounts, IBAN, use an IBAN. So it's a couple minutes, unless there's a circumstance that makes it a couple hours.
Which is fairly understandable, but the bottom line is that it gets there quick. Cool. So if I just sent money now to Nigeria, like, how do I get to track the status of it now?
Yeah, so when you do the transaction inside Centbee, you'll see the transaction there, and it will have a status, whether it's been paid out. It'll either say pending if the money's still in transit, but that should always not take too long. But then also when when the money lands inside the bank account, in other words, when it's available to the beneficiary to pick it up, you will get a notification in your wallet. That's why it's really important. Keep your notifications on in Centbee, because you get all your gift cards, and you get notifications when people send you money or when you send money. So you'll get a notification, and then I think in some cases the beneficiary also gets an SMS as well.
They do. They do.
So there's going to be quite a lot of communication, a lot of notification stuff. So listen out for that.
Oh, cool. Thanks for that. But given that, like, can I just download Centbee and start sending money immediately, or what's the process there?
Yeah, well, yes, you can download and you can start sending BSV if you've got it in your wallet. But if you want to use this feature, this cross-border money transfer or bank transfer, mobile money, then what's going to happen is when you try and send to that beneficiary. So we talked about how to create that beneficiary.
Yes.
But once you've created the beneficiary and you tap on that beneficiary, it's going to pop up with a window saying, verify your identity. And then you have to go through a few steps. It's pretty simple. You tap the button. It's then going to open up a screen that says, please take a photo of your ID document. So if you've got a driver's license or a passport or another kind of ID card, then you can take a photo of it. Very important that it must have your birth date, your full name, and your ID number or your document number. So if we get a lot of these documents that are kind of pieces of paper with a photo on it, and that's another thing, it has to have a photo on it, but are missing a birth date or something like that, and those we reject. So make sure you've taken you'll take a photo of the back, the front and the back, if there's a back. You then have to take a selfie, so it'll ask you to put your face into a circle, and it'll take a photo. Then if everything's done correctly, if your card is correct and or your passport is correct, and the face that you take matches the face on the ID document, then within a few minutes you should get a notification saying you've been verified. Cool. But a lot of people don't get verified because the document's too blurry, or it's missing information, or the face doesn't match within the selfie. So there's a lot of things that could affect it, in which case it's going to then go to a manual person to go and overview and look at that, and that could take sometimes even a few days depending on our volume. And we have a lot of volume these days, so please take care when you take a photo of your document.
Yeah, because I've actually came across a couple of those problems, like with our verification process, where users they're so excited to sign up and just want to send money that they just hastily take the photo, not checking that if it's clear or the details are easily, readable. So it's quite important. Yeah, that's a very important note to highlight that, take your time to take your photo of your document, and your selfie, then the process will be quicker, snappy. Cool. Mr. G, so I'd like to understand, we are everywhere, we're sending money everywhere. But now, how do we handle the conversion rates?
Yeah, so we have two conversion rates that you have to think about. Because what you will see, let's say you are in the United States, and your Centbee wallet, you've chosen the exchange rate to be United States dollars. And then you want to send money to Naira in Nigeria. Well, in your wallet, you're going to say, I want to send $100.
Yeah, okay.
Then what we have to do is we have to calculate what is $100 in BSV. Okay. And then we have to say, what is the exchange rate from BSV to Naira? So there's a few exchange rates, two of them that come into effect now. So when you are making a payment of $100, you'll look at the rate and you'll be like, that's a strange rate. Like, why is that rate, either lower or higher than another rate? So you'll have to check that. I'm sure, users always are looking at different rates, different apps. Yeah. So we have to do that. We have to make sure that the exchange rate is being calculated all the way through, so that we can successfully convert that BSV into dollars, into the dollar amount into a BSV amount into a Naira amount. Yeah. So it's a little bit complex, but we think that when we've seen the rates that we've been putting into the wallet, it's always competitive. And I'm sure you can sometimes find a much better bargain using Centbee than it would, especially if you're sending the BSV into countries like Nigeria from the United States, because there's a lot of BSV available, I guess, in America. Yeah. And so there's less demand for it there. But in Nigeria, it's very hard to get hold of BSV. So there's a lot of demand there for it. So the price can be quite different.
Oh, cool. Thanks for that, Mr. G. That was like a proper unpack of this feature. I'm sure a lot of our users were struggling with some of the questions there, but now they are answered. So I think we need to jump into our next segment for the show. And I'm pretty chuffed about this because this speaks to the big problem that BSV is trying to solve. What is the role of Bitcoin in the finance space?
Yeah. Now, of course, when Bitcoin first came along, the whole point of it was that it was cash, which is what Centbee is using it as. It was, the title of the Bitcoin white paper was a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Yeah. But then, of course, the narrative changed. I think we mentioned that last week. And it was all about this new kind of money system that could grow in value and you could invest in it. And more than money, it was now gold or some kind of speculative vehicle for making money. Yeah. And then the narrative went even further, saying, well, now we don't need banks because Bitcoin can bank the unbanked, and we have all these people who don't have bank accounts, but now Bitcoin can solve that problem.
Okay.
So that's really what we started seeing a lot of, saying Bitcoin will unbank will bank the unbanked. And then, of course, people who are popular in the crypto space started saying it's not only going to bank the unbanked, but it's going to unbank the banked. Because it's going to, everyone's going to quit their bank accounts, and they're going to
cripple the banking system, basically.
Well, we won't even need it, because now we've got Bitcoin. Now that solves our banking issues. So a very false narrative has been that now Bitcoin can replace banks. And of course, that's never was its intention. Its intention was always to be just a payment rail, something that could facilitate microtransactions, so that you could use it to pay for tiny value things like 1 cent for this or half a cent for that. If you want to read an article on a website, you can pay 1/100th of a cent, let's say. So everybody started saying, well, this is about banks and about unbanking the banked and banking the unbanked, and now we've got a banking system that's decentralized, and we don't need humans to manipulate the system. And then, of course, the other ideas like the decentralized autonomous organization, and all that means is this software program that can run and give banking services to people, but you don't need a bank manager or people running the bank. It's just a program that runs autonomously. In other words, just on its own on this blockchain, and once it's going, you can't stop it. And anybody can use it, and it can facilitate all sorts of financial transactions, but also provide all these financial services. And then there's, of course, that's gone further with this idea of DeFi, decentralized finance, where we can just have robots running the show. So you can just imagine how bananas it's gone. I mean, how different it's been from a cash system to this Skynet that now nobody controls and everybody can benefit from. Now, it's a wonderful idea, I guess, if it can't be corrupted, and also if it doesn't allow illegal activities, because if you can program illegal stuff out of it, well, but that really is just a dream, especially because we live in the real world. And no matter what we say, there are always going to be regulators and people who are trying to keep us safe, even if sometimes we'd rather just be free rather than safe. And there are certain rules around finance. You have to declare your finance. If you earn income, you have to declare it. If you make payments and it's large amounts, you're going to have to say who it's going to. If you have a lot of money and you want to spend that, the regulations generally say, well, where did you get that money from? Show us invoices or show something. So that's just the bare fact of how the world works, and we can't get away from it right now. And even if it was beneficial, but it sounds that it could be scary, this DeFi world. So and that's why when Bitcoin was created, it was a regulated system. I mean, a system that could be regulated. It was transparent, so you could trace transactions. It was pseudonymous, meaning you could link transactions to real identities. And it could follow all the rules around money and payments and that sort of thing. So this idea that Bitcoin in itself can suddenly become a banking system is really just, it doesn't make sense when you get down to it, especially when you realize that banks aren't just about financial payments and that. Banks offer services. They give out loans. If you want to go borrow money for a car, you've got to go somewhere where you can find people who are willing to lend you that money. Bitcoin can't lend you money. Yes, other people can lend you money, but that's, I guess, the hope of these DAOs is that you can have lenders who can loan money and earn interest, but there's no accountable institution in the middle that can make sure that the contracts are legit. Not just legit, but enforced. So this is the whole false narrative that crept into Bitcoin, as well as the investment thing about banking the unbanked. And Bitcoin is a banking system. It's not, clearly. And it's not going to unbank the banked. What it will do, though, is allow people to make low-value digital cash payments. And also, interestingly, and this was another innovation around Bitcoin, is that you can do it in an offline way. You see, because of that peer-to-peer digital cash system idea, I can be with you somewhere remote with no connectivity, and I can send you a digital transaction, and you can receive it and have good enough confidence that it's a legit payment in a digital way. So that's what the peer-to-peer meant. It's not that I broadcast my transaction to a server and then that server pings you and says money's arrived. That's how people look at Bitcoin today, with miners and then wallets like Centbee looking at the mining network. Yeah. But peer-to-peer means you don't have to connect to Centbee servers. You can just send the cash. So that's what Bitcoin was meant to do. Of course, there's a whole lot of other features, and we see them now. If you just go to the Bitcoin Association website, you'll see that there's a lot of companies who are doing all sorts of interesting things with using blockchain as a ledger, supply chains and data integrity and logging and so on. So it definitely has lots of features and lots of exciting, interesting things that you can do with it. But one of the things it can't do is replace banking.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's a proper actual unpack, Mr. G, because I mean, the normal narrative about Bitcoin was, taking down the current system, you're going to be pushing transactions without anyone monitoring that, and that sounded a bit scary for me, because it's like, what are we heading to, So you unfolding that gives me a bit of confidence in our users, most def, that, this is something that we need in the future of finance.
Yes, and I think it's not that there's no role for blockchain and banking combined. Yeah. I do think all banks one day will use BSV blockchain, the one blockchain that I think will have a one blockchain world, and just like we have a one internet world. Yeah. And I think banks will use it. And so Bitcoin is going to improve banking.
It is, because with that being said, I can see how it comes as a use case for them, because currently, I believe the system was deliberately built to be like, take long in terms of transactions. But with this, it's a direct connection with them, because if they can access that blockchain, that transaction is available on the blockchain. So that means anyone can see that transaction. It's not like an intra-system where we need to be just the two of us, where, and then it syncs later on. That's why there's delays actually in this transaction world,
I don't think it's intentional. I think that's just how the systems have been built through necessity, and that's one of the amazing things about Bitcoin, is that it solved this clunky, disconnected system that we have today. We have now a universal transactional network, and that's going to absolutely make transactions more efficient in every way.
Yeah, well, I guess it's an open argument, but I believe it's deliberate, because comparing with the fees, I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you had to filter it through all these, tunnels, it will get to that point. So with BSV, it's just direct. So that's why I'm saying, that's the solution we should be looking into. Cool. We're just going to jump into our user questions for the week, just to stay updated with what you guys have to offer us in terms of questions or feedback. Maria from Telegram is asking, is there a referral link that I can share with my friends?
Yeah, we get this question a lot. People want to share Centbee, and they want something useful that they can just share on WhatsApp or Telegram or Twitter or something like that. Yeah. So we're going to put that feature into Centbee. Yeah. What you'll be able to do is we'll probably put it into the receive screen or on the main menu, and you'll be able to tap share, and it will then open up one of your social apps, and it'll have something there saying, this is my Centbee handle, use it as a referral link, tap here to download Centbee, and it'll open up the App Store. So that's coming soon. Thanks for that question.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mr. G. Thanks, Maria, for that question. We're just going to jump into our second question from El Mubarak Abaniman from Facebook. He's asking, what do I need to send money to my bank account?
Yeah, so to do that, you're going to now need your ID. So you're going to need a driver's license or a passport, or some other kind of government-issued ID document. It must have your photo on it, your date of birth, and your name, and a number. And then once you've added a beneficiary, when you tap on the beneficiary, it'll pop open with steps for you to be able to take a photo of your ID, take a photo of your face, and if everything's clean and everything works out and it all matches, then in a few minutes you'll get a notification that your ID's been verified, and then you can then go and send money. But if the document is missing information or it's blurry, can't be read, then that'll probably take some time for a person to review that and send you a notification whether it's failed or not.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. So our third question for the week is from Khalid Sani from Twitter. So he's saying, I lost my backup phrase. In fact, how do I recover my wallet?
Yeah, this is an important one. I think we want to mention this all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever, one of the things about Centbee is that it's a non-custodial wallet, and that just means we don't keep your private information.
Yeah.
So one of the most important things you must do is back up your 12-word phrase and your 4-digit PIN. Mm-hmm. On the home screen, if you haven't done it already, tap the red button. It's going to show you your words. Write those words down. Write down your PIN and put it in a safe place. Take a screenshot, upload it to your cloud. Yeah. And then if ever you lose your phone or get a new phone, you can go look at those words, enter it into Centbee on sign up, and then you will be able to get your coins back. So if you've lost that information, we can't help you. We don't have that. That's your, with great power comes great responsibility. Definitely. So keep your words and your PIN safe.
Cool. Thanks for that, Mr. G. So we're going to be also highlighting some feedback from our users. Actually, this is the first segment we're actually highlighting feedback, and we've been getting like some cool feedback from you guys, and it's been quite motivating to see that, the product is working its need into people's life, So this one is Lexi on Twitter. She's saying that this is an amazing service, strengthening bonds and strengthening families while making global money transfer seamless, fast, affordable, and it's a great way to connect people around the world. Thanks for the love, yo. Centbee, send money. Hashtag Centbee, hashtag send money, hashtag honey rewards. Cool. And then our second feedback comes from BSV Aspire, also on Twitter. So he's saying they're actually they're highlighting our sending money feature. This is quite cool. So BSV Aspire is saying, Send opens doors to affordable and swift global transfers, fostering financial inclusion and family support, bridging distances and dreams. It's a game changer in cross-border remittance, financial empowerment, global money transfer. This is so cool, man. It's so heartwarming to actually read these, eh?
Yeah. We should get BSV Aspire and Lexi to write some tweets for us.
For real, hey.
Do some marketing for us. That sound really good.
Because they sound so proper, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Also, don't forget to download the Centbee app. It's available on the Google Play Store, on the Android Huawei App Gallery Store, and also Apple iOS Store. Cool. Also don't forget to follow us on our socials. So it's Twitter it's Centbee on Twitter. It's Centbee Wallet on Instagram and Centbee Wallet on Facebook. Hit us up. And then for support, you can easily just drop us a mail at support@centbee.com. We're here for your love, man.
Cool. Yeah. No, thanks. Thanks, KG. Thanks for a great show. I enjoyed that one. And thanks everybody for coming today and watching the Centbee Show. Please come back soon.
Cool. See you next week, guys.